So I wanted to share something that happened today that was just kind of just a great reminder of never giving up. And so I've been on this running plan on this running program, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been super fun. I don't have any races that I've signed up for. I'm just doing it because it's really just I've really enjoyed running. And so yesterday was my off day, a day where I'm not supposed to do anything at all. And I didn't really take heed to that. And my wife was doing a CrossFit workout. And I was like, you know what? I want to try that because I have not done a CrossFit style workout since December 2018. And before then, I did a lot of CrossFit. And I make the joke that I was cross fat because I did a lot of CrossFit, but my body wasn't changing. Why? Because I was eating all the junk. And what I was putting into my body wasn't healthy. And so anyways, whole nother story. But I did yesterday a CrossFit workout, which was crazy. So it was an 800-meter run and then 30 thrusters and 30 upright rows. And then a 400-meter run and then 30 thrusters and 30 rows again. And then a 200-meter run and 30 thrusters and then 30 push press and then time. And you had to do that within 18 minutes. And I was able to finish it, which was super exciting and super encouraging. But the problem was when I started it, I was already sore. On my first set of 30 thrusters, I already felt my legs like screaming. And that's never a good thing because if you're already sore in the middle of the workout, you know that's a bad day. That's a real bad day. And I remembered while I'm doing the workout, I'm like, oh man, I'm supposed to run on Tuesday, today, I'm supposed to run a 5.5 mile tempo run, which means you run and you're supposed to keep this pace the entire time. Like just keep that pace the whole time. And I was like, oh no. And so last night, man, I started feeling it. The soreness just started creeping into my legs and my abs and everything. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this run tomorrow. I woke up and I could barely move. Again, these thrusters crushed my legs. Well, I was like, do I run? Do I not run? Do I run? Do I not run? And I was like, I'm going to do this. I need to go out and I run. And though when I started running, my mindset was awful. It was in the complete wrong place. I didn't want to do it. I was just like, I'm not going to do this. So I started walking and I started to jog a little bit and my legs were screaming. And then I listened to a coach in my ear and they tell me like the pace and everything. So when I finished my first mile, they said 16 minutes. And it just bothered me. Like I was like, what? 16 minutes? And I sat down on the curb and I just wanted to quit. I was like, I'm done. I'm going home. I'm done with this. I'm going to walk home, listen to some podcast, and I'm just going to walk home. And then my mindset shifted. And this is what I want to talk about. And this is what I want to focus on. Because a year and a half ago, I would have walked home. A year and a half ago, I would have quit. A year and a half ago, and many, many days leading up to that, I would have thrown in the towel. And what I know is that I know that, you know, people say stuff to me like, man, you're too vulnerable, or man, you talk too much about mental health and too much about Jesus and all this stuff. And I thank you for your opinion. I really do. And what you don't know is that I would never talk about anything in the past. I wasn't vulnerable. I wasn't somebody who would do this. And now I am. And what's so amazing for me, and this is why I'm sharing it with you, is because I believe there's so many of these stories out there. A year and a half ago, I would have quit. A year and a half ago, I would have thrown it in. And today, I didn't quit. Why? Because this whole year, I have not quit. This whole year and a half, I have not quit. And I've wanted to. Not just running, but just in a lot of things. And here's what's happened is I have trained my mind. I have worked hard to get mentally right and to get clear. And I've worked so hard on it. And you can too. I think that our culture would tell you, no, you don't need to do that. That's not a big deal. Well, the truth is, the more mentally strong you are, the more that you're going to be able to do. And so while running today, I was like, no, I'm not quitting. So I got up and I started running. And I was encouraged because in October of this year, I weighed 212 pounds. And to some of you like, oh, it's not a big deal. To me, that was a big deal. I was overweight. I didn't feel good. I was sick all the time. And in October, while I'm running, I'm thinking, man, good job. Like, you did it. You've overcome some things. And one of the things that I've overcome is my weight. And I'm proud of that. And that's exciting. And that gave me more energy. And so my second mile, I lowered it from 16-minute pace to a 13-minute pace. And I knew I had 3 left. And mentally, I'm like, let's go. I got this. Here we go. You can do it. And I kept looking back on this year. I thought about panic attacks. I used to have panic attacks very, very often. And I haven't had a panic attack in months. I don't even really remember the last one that I had. And that is encouraging. And what did that do? That kept me going, kept me going, kept me going. And I just kept thinking about these victories that I have had personally in my life. This podcast that I started, Victory. There's so many times I didn't want to do it because I was afraid what people were going to think. I was afraid what people were going to say. And because I've got my mind straight, and because I've been working on this, and because I have renewed my mind, as it says in Romans 12, then I am able to test and approve His will for me. And His will for me is to live life. And so I didn't quit. I kept going. I was encouraged as I was running. I was like, man, I'm eating right. I've been doing a keto diet since October, and it's been amazing. I'm not filling my body with crap anymore. I'm actually eating very healthy all the time. It's bled into other people who are doing the same thing. And man, I'm excited about that. And that victory of just not quitting. Look, quitting is easy. Everybody can quit. Quitting is what most of the culture does. Most of the world, when things get hard, they throw in the towel. When things get tough, they start to go to things that make them feel better. That could be bad food. That could be drugs. It could be pornography. It could be gambling. It could be a lot of different stuff. And that's easy. And what's encouraging me when I was out running was like, most of the world is not doing this right now. Most of the world is sitting around and not really trying to better themselves. And I want to encourage you. Most of you have already turned this off because you're annoyed because here's this guy talking about mental health and spiritual health again. And I understand how that could annoy you because you may not be willing to look into the deep, dark places of your soul because it's hard to bring it up. And I would encourage you, it will free you when you're able to bring it up. And I want you to know you can do it. Just don't quit. Don't give up. Maybe, I don't know what that means for you. I have no idea what that means, but I felt compelled to get on here and say something. And so as I was running, I was like, man, I have lost this weight. I'm feeling good. I've been eating right. I've been feeling good. And my legs are sore. They were so sore. And I got to run another distance tomorrow. And the great thing is now I've got a victory that I didn't quit today. I didn't quit when it was hard. I didn't quit when it was tough. I didn't quit because my mind was like, you're just quit. It's easier to quit. I kept going, one foot in front of another. And so be encouraged. Don't quit. When your mind tells you to turn it off, when your mind says throw in the towel, when your mind says what are other people going to think, when your mind says that person's going to think this or whatever that may be, you know what? Turn that off. Turn that off, that negative thinking, and turn on the positive things and start thinking of some victories in your life. What are the victories in your life that you have overcome? And watch and see how that completely changes your outlook and maybe your life.